Thank you. So, who here thinks gentrification is inevitable? Who here thinks that people can push back and it's not a God-given right for a developer to displace people of color? You could have development without displacement. So that's my argument today. I spoke on KPFA the other day, so I had my notes, and I'm going to try to go through that briefly because we don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. But here are a few of the causes of gentrification that's contributing to it, part of it. And I don't claim to be an expert, so let me give that as our caveat at the beginning. I was a lawyer for 25 years. My day job now is I counsel landlords and tenants and realtors and families trying to move into Berkeley, and it's a very popular town. I came back here to age in place. I'm 55, went to college here, went to law school in San Francisco, went to Cal undergrad. So now that I'm here, I'm looking around and going, where did all the black people go? You know, we used to be in pretty significant number. How many people know that if you look up in Wikipedia, it says that 52% of South Berkeley was black, only 20, 30 years ago. How does a community plummet that quickly in such a degree? We're now down to 20% in South Berkeley. Citywide, 10%. Formerly 20% citywide. Again, a lot of people come in and they think I'm in a vibrant community. It's culturally diverse. That's one of the attractive variables that were pointed out by Dr. Barton. And then they, cool, progressive white people move in and they go, where are the black people? And Latinos and other people of color are also now being pushed out. Now they're being pushed out by a couple things, briefly. San Francisco spillover, the tech boom. Did you guys know that in 2013 to 2014, there are 100,000 more people that have moved to the Bay Area? But San Francisco's only built 55,000 new units. So like you said, it's not going to happen, it's already happening. I talk to people all the time. They work for Google. We have the Google bus. How many here know that we have a Google bus in Berkeley and it's at the BART? And Apple has a bus now too. Okay. Well, that's part of the issue. They're moving in and their income is 6 figures and their rent could be the 5 to 6 to 7,000 per month that are being charged, even in rent-controlled units. So remember what vacancy decontrol means is whenever there's a new tenancy, I move out and Yang Lee moves into my apartment, my rent was $1,400, she could be charged $3,500. Whatever the market will bear. So the market is bearing, right now, crazy, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for 2-bedroom apartments. Are they fancy? Are they upgraded? Are they remodeled? No, they're the same old thing. So what do you see in Cal students? Quality of life, public health issues are going to start to come about. They're already happening. But you have 7 and 8 kids squeezed in. I'm a mother of a college kid, he just graduated. I couldn't imagine him being with 8 students in a 2-bedroom with 1 bathroom. So that's happening as well. Costa-Hawkins rent increases are happening as a market rate from anywhere from $400 to $1,000 more per month from last year. So imagine again, turnover, I move out, and I know Alejandro, you and your whole family want a place to move it. You already have a place to live, but say you're looking for a place to live. When you try to find a place now, a number of people of color are not able to come back to Berkeley. Their properties were sold, their families, people passed on, and I talk to a lot of people all the time saying they can't afford to move back. So part of my solution side is Black-owned enterprises and Black-owned homes. So self-empowerment with respect to that. The third thing that's happening is Airbnb, sabbatical.homes, all of the shared rentals. They get caught by rent control, the rent board. Anything that's rented for 14 days or more is a rent-controlled unit usually. So they have to register with us. They don't always know that, and they're charging $250 a night, and they're making thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're not even getting a hotel tax. City Council is looking at that issue to try to tax short-term rentals. The fourth thing that's happening is decades of neglect of housing for the poor. How many housing units have been built in the last 20 years in Berkeley? For the poor, 500? Not many. Senior citizens are getting priced out even of rent-controlled units. My heart aches talking to 75 and 80-year-old people whose rent exceeds their income. Even in a rent-controlled unit that started at $300 or $400 a month, 30 years ago is now $600, $700, $800. That leaves them $100 to get food and necessities, which they can't afford, so they're scraping back on their medicine and other things that are necessities of life. It's cruel, it's unusual, it's just horrible situations happening. So increased income is also happening. Did you guys know only 20%? I feel like such an anomaly. Okay, so 20%, 17% some people say of city employees live in Berkeley. I'm one of them. So that's an issue as well, right? What affordable housing do we have for teachers, your local employees, your firefighters? Most of them live in Walnut Creek. So when there's a fire, you know, how fast are you gonna get over here? Not that quickly. So again, those are all issues that need to be dealt with. Here's the solution side. Democracy, take back our town. City ballot initiatives can be passed. Sierra Club did it in 2013, stopped a proposed 136-foot tall, 134-unit condo project on the waterfront. We can, in fact, pass not only measures, but also cooperatives, collectives, people with money. I've been approached by, I got the 5-minute warning. I just saw that. Thank you for that. Oh, let me quickly go on here. Okay. So investors that have significant sums of money are Black owners of various businesses want to invest. So they said, we're looking for property to purchase. I said, great. If they can buy some of the homes for low-income housing, they want to develop some Black-owned businesses. That is another opportunity that sets out. Well, it's getting more expensive, right? So if you purchase a house today, did you guys know what the average house is in Berkeley? $1.1 million. Now it was $600,000 last year, $700,000. 10 offers, often for cash. So I commend you to read UC Professor Karen Chappell's study that's research on the urban displacement project. Just look that up. She's saying that 53% of low-income households are at risk of displacement right now, and it's only going to get worse. She has a few recommendations: subsidized housing, it was stated before, tenant protections. Eviction protections in Berkeley and Oakland and San Francisco are one of the few things that do keep people in their homes. So if someone says to you, my house is being sold, you've got to move. Your apartment building's going to be sold, you've got to move. No, you don't. The new buyer buys you in it, and they might not be really happy because your rent's not as high as they'd like it to be, so now you've got a lot of pressure to get pushed out. Because I'm paying $1,400 a month, for example, in my rent-controlled apartment. My landlord's nice, but current rent, you could charge $2,800, $3,000, $3,500. So that's another pressure that's happening. Rent control is a measure that helps to protect housing for people in a stable situation, more affordable. Also, we could stay with community organizing and collectives. I know there are a few that have developed in Berkeley, and I've seen some tenants buy their building. I love when I talk to somebody, they're like, oh, I bought my building. We're a co-op, and we've got, So I thought, this is good. Do that. Put your money together. So Black people are fighting to keep businesses, fighting foreclosures, owner-investor groups coming together, as I said, and pushing also, I still think, Dr. Barton, that we should keep some units on site. The below-market rate units and the new development downtown, there's 1,100 units, and I know there are a couple of developers here today, I understand. So I plead to you, in your buildings, when you build them, please put units inside your building. Oh, you're a developer? Oh, you're raising your arm. Okay. So on those, there are waiting lists, hundreds of people long in those units that are set aside for the below market rate units for affordable housing. So it's pernicious. There's some situations that are happening that are bad, but it's also, I think, reversible. It's not inevitable. I have 2 more minutes. Gosh, you guys are good. So the other thing that's happening for working class people and people of color, the whole push on market prices going up, it's happening for businesses as well. Tuesday mornings, I love that store, and they're closing. Small businesses are closing in Berkeley. They get pushed out, and then big companies come in. So both our residential and commercial side, I argue, we need to push for affordable businesses, small mom and pop businesses. I saw the news yesterday. I think it's San Marcos is a town that just pushed back and said they passed an ordinance that rejects big corporate companies coming in, so the box stores, so they can protect for the small coffee shops and not a Starbucks on every corner like Seattle, where I grew up, where I lived for a few years. So we could do that. Really quick, stabilize existing homes, develop cooperative housing, let me give my notes, regional incentives, funding to support community participation. Oh, there's some community participation happening. Liberation Link, it's called. Check this out. Causa Justa, Just Cause, Development Without Displacement. That was my title. This is the title of their book. It's a 110-page report. Liberation Link, if you look that up, they actually have a number of examples of ways to preserve housing and to not displace people of color when development occurs in a neighborhood. So I will be open for questions because I only have 30 seconds left, and I thank you for your attention.